Hello and welcome to The Best Years. I'm your host, Sandy Levine. April is National Volunteer Month, a great time to talk about how you can use your interests and expertise to help someone in the community. Joining me to talk about the benefits of volunteering are Lynette Whiteman, Executive Director of Caregiver Volunteers of Central Jersey, and Caregiver Volunteer Pat Cooper, who despite her own disability continues to reach out to those in need. Welcome to The Best Years.
Thank you.
Lynette, you are in charge of a group comprised mostly of volunteers, so volunteering obviously is so important. What kind of services does Caregivers of Central Jersey provide?
Caregiver Volunteers of Central Jersey basically helps to keep senior citizens in their home, independent, living with dignity and respect. That's what we're all about. And we have incredible volunteers. We have over 1,000 volunteers who help people by driving them to their doctor's offices, by shopping for them, by providing friendly visits, help with paperwork. We have an incredible Alzheimer's respite care program to provide relief to caregivers. So everything that we do is designed to help the elderly in Ocean County remain independent.
Now, in a county like Ocean, how important are these services?
It's vital. It's totally vital. Ocean County is second only in the nation as far as demographics for senior citizens. And our volunteers, we could not do this without the people that step up to the plate and volunteer for us. They give their heart, they give their time, they give their talent. They're just incredible people, and we are thankful for every single one of them.
And that brings us right to Pat Cooper, one of your great volunteers. And Pat, you have some health issues yourself. What kind of challenges do you face?
I have multiple sclerosis, and it's very hard for me to get around. You know, I use a walker, but prior to using that, I did volunteer. I drove people to the doctors and visit people, but now I'm a coordinator, and what that means is, like, the office calls me and I assign volunteers to do the services.
So you match up volunteers with people who need help.
Right.
Now, with your own challenges with mobility and your own health issues, why have you decided to volunteer?
Because there is such a need in this community for people to have help. Women that their husbands have passed away and they don't drive, so they have no way of getting to doctors or shopping. They need people.
And what kind of benefit have you seen for the people that you match up? What have you heard? What kind of stories have you heard?
People are so grateful. You know, a lot of them have been moved here and their families don't live nearby. They have no one to rely on. They need this, and they're so thankful that there are people that are willing to do it.
And you've been doing this for 8 years?
Yes, over 8 years I've been caregiver or coordinator. And I also belong to the Alzheimer's respite care program.
Now, what does that involve? That giving people who are taking care of someone with Alzheimer's a break? So important.
Yes, it just provides a couple hours for the caregiver to go out and do something on their own while you stay with the person with Alzheimer's.
Now, Lynette, Pat sets a great example of how everyone can pitch in to help and volunteer. What does your group need from the community?
Well, I think anything that anybody could do to help, we will put you to use, because there, as Pat mentioned and you mentioned, there is such a great need. So if you're not able to drive anymore, perhaps you could come into the office and provide some administrative support. We have fundraisers throughout the year, and if somebody would like to help with our fundraisers to outreach to the community or to help organize the events, we could use your help there. Our greatest need by far is for transportation. That's where we get the majority of our calls, is the people that moved here, can no longer drive, and now are relying on somebody else and maybe can't afford taxis on their budget. So that's really the greatest need. But whatever you could do to help, we'll use you, and we'll gratefully use your help.
And what are some of the stories you've heard from people who use your services about what a difference it's made in their lives?
It is so profound. I get the letters. I'm the lucky one. I get the letters and I get the phone calls from people. And invariably they'll say, I couldn't do it without you. Thank you to my angels. Thank you for sending Pat to me. Thank you for sending all the volunteers for me. They're so deeply, deeply grateful for the little bit of help that we do provide. And I think our volunteers, and Pat included, is just so inspiring. They're giving of themselves to help somebody, and it's a very direct thank you. It's not making phone calls or helping somebody in another country. It's your neighbor that you're helping, and they feel it.
Sure. And Pat, what has been the most rewarding part of your volunteer work for you?
Well, with the Alzheimer program, I was going to this woman who was 92, and she was caring for her sister who is like 90 with Alzheimer. And it was just inspiring to see someone of that age have patience with her sister.
So people who want to get involved, Lynette, what should they do? Reach out to you?
Yep, they could call our office, they could email me, they could visit our website, whatever way is more comfortable from them. We have training, volunteer training throughout the year. We have it on the afternoons, mornings, evenings. If you get a large group together, we're trying to reach out to some clubs, maybe a women's club or a club that would like to get involved with us. We will come to your club and do the training and use your club as a volunteer group as well. So however you would like to work it, we'll work with those individuals.
And Pat, if you could say anything to the viewers today about becoming involved, what would you tell them?
Volunteers are so needed for this wonderful organization. It's very rewarding, and if people can just spare an hour, 2 hours, whatever length of time they can provide, it's very needed.
And they can really make a difference.
Yes.
Lynette Whiteman, Pat Cooper, thank you so much for being on The Best Years today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
If you'd like to volunteer and make a difference in the community, contact Caregiver Volunteers of Central Jersey at 732-505-2273 or send an email to info@caregivervolunteers.org. For more information, visit the group's website at www.caregivervolunteers.org.